Wheel is a Finnish prog rock, prog metal band based in Helsinki, consisting of James Laskalalas, Santeri Sakasala, Aki Virta, and Juicy Turunen.
Perfect.
I have perfect pronunciation there. They released their debut album, Moving Backwards, in February 2019 and released their second album, Resident Human, on March 26th, 2021. And they don't have any Wikipedia information at all because who the fuck's ever heard of them?
Yeah.
All I've got is a quote on their website where they said that they wanted to make the album a bit rougher around the edges than Moving Backwards was. He talked some shit about some shit. This thing sounded like the most polished record I've ever heard. I don't know how he's saying it's rough around the edges.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's what I wanted to do with this album thrown to both of us. Is it's a band neither of us had heard before. It's kind of mildly in a musical genre where you and I both play, or listen. And just wanted, nobody fucking knows who this band is. Wheel. Like, I hope we get them some monthly listens out of this, but I don't know.
Appearing on this podcast, their exposure is obviously going to go through the roof. I looked on their Spotify. They've got about roughly fuck all listens. Maybe slightly less than fuck all. So I'm expecting this time tomorrow morning they'll probably have about
at least
4 ex-wives and $50 million.
Wow.
It's just the kind of reach we have, Brad.
That's only if we give it a positive review. I mean, we haven't gotten into it yet, have we? But I threw this at you, Wheel, you had no idea who it was, and you chucked it on. Track 1, which is Dissipating. How did it make you, what did it do for you?
At first, I thought this is like a pussy version of Tool. Like it's kind of the bass sound is kind of warmer and rounder, not cluggy as Tool.
Yeah.
The guitars were very more polished and reserved sounding, not that Mace. What do they do? They have diesel amplifiers, VH4s, with going through a Marshall or something. It's like a smoother, more polished, cleaner sound than even Tool has.
That was your first reaction, like you chucked it on, you went, "Oh, this is Toolish."
It's about 12 minutes long, and as it goes, you're like, "Oh, it's got lots of strange time signatures in it." And then you're like, more as it goes, you're like, "This is very Tool derivative." Very Tool derivative. What's that band that tries to be Led Zeppelin?
Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah, like what Greta Van Fleet is to Led Zeppelin, Wheel is to Tool, is what I was thinking. Like even the soft singing that Maynard does, and then very similar.
And he has similar sort of, I don't know if intonation's the right word, but he does similar things with his voice that Maynard is known for, But it's a thing, I mean, that's how I came across Wheel. I think there's a big, Tool is Tool, right? People that like Tool, it's a fucking religion unto itself, right? So you always see, you go into Reddit or you go into Google and it's people searching for bands that sound like Tool. Do you know any other bands that are like Tool? And I don't know how do you define that sound? It's it's prog rock, it's heavy rock, but it's also kind of there needs to be some sort of journey in there, or I don't know. I don't know how you describe Tool. I wouldn't say it's indescribable. I'm just not as articulate as most folks. Tool is Tool, right?
Tool's a genre to itself, really, isn't it?
Yeah. But and they only do an album every fucking 13 years. So you need to fill the gaps, right? And so, for me, I've been giving this, it's been on high rotation for the week. And I enjoy it when I put it on, and I've enjoyed the tones, but I couldn't pick a single off it. You know what I'm saying?
I would say they do not have a standout song for me. It's all pretty much the same song.
Yeah.
Well,
But then you could say that about, what was Tool's newest album? Fear Inoculum, right? A banger from start to finish if you take out Chocolate Chip Trip and Culling Voices, right? All genius. But again, no sort of standout singles or songs. It's an album, every song is a 10-minute journey, right?
There's no sober on this album.
No.
There's no Anima.
Not at all. Not at all. There's good tunes. I think this is good. This is enjoyable, but it's not as good as what it's trying to be. And I guess I'm okay with that. That's okay. I didn't expect them to be as good as Tool, but I enjoyed it.
I think with Tool, you've got Sober and Anima that are kind of like the gateway drug songs, right? Those are the songs everyone goes, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Stinkfist, 46 and 2, all those, early rock ones. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They're the ones with the big chorus. We all know the chorus. Everyone knows the words. I couldn't remember one word off this record.
No, you could barely understand it. Stupid Finnish people. But.
Don't they speak English over there or something? The fucking retarded country.
They have to if they want to sell albums.
Yeah, I did watch them playing live on the YouTubes. It's a solid band. It's a tight band. The recording I saw, they had a terrible drum sound, and it changed from song to song as I was looking.
Right.
Like it would go really thin, and then it would be way too fat.
Yeah. But I mean, while we're on the live performance and we're kind of jumping around the place, but I found it off-putting that the singer also played guitar for some reason. It felt odd for a band like this.
Tool with two guitars. Well, I was pretty impressed that he could play that stuff and sing.
Yeah. Oh, look, no doubt. I think they're talented dudes, and I think the style. This album was the best of theirs that I listened to. I can't remember what the other one was called. Hang on, but I definitely didn't.
Told you 2 seconds ago.
As enjoyable. No, Vultures.
Moving Backwards. It's the album.
Yeah, then they had. That's it. Sorry, Vultures is a song off it. Yeah, I listened to that, and I didn't enjoy that at all. It was more sort of just your straight up rock stuff, at least the songs I listened to. Whereas this one, they're definitely going, right, fuck it. Don't care what people say, we're going to try and be Tool. And I think for the most part, they pull it off. They don't, they're just lacking. Like you get a lot of bands that are good, but it takes something special to be great. And these guys have got all the talent in the world, but they're just missing that little bit of X factor that makes you a Maynard or a fucking Danny Carey style drummer. And whether maybe that just might be getting the right producer, like as you said with this, it's just not, it doesn't have the guitars don't have the edge and the bass isn't quite, the bass it needs to be. But then they're not Wheel, then they would just be Tool, they may as well go out and go, right, what's all the equipment that Tool are using? Let's buy that and use all the same settings.
A more top polished Tool imitation.
Yeah. I definitely think if you're into at least later day Tool, like 10,000 Days onwards, where it's more the extended jams and time changes and stuff, then you'd be into this. Absolutely check it out. But just be aware Like another buddy of ours, I sent this to him and got him to listen to it. And he was like, yep, chucked it on. And he was messaging me while he was listening to it. He's a big Tool guy. And he was just like, oh, I'm loving it so far. Yeah, this is great. And then sort of 15 minutes later, he was like, oh, I had it on shuffle and it chucked some, a Tool song came in the middle of the album and it just made me go, oh, it's not Tool. So it's good, but it's not. It's like, do you want a cheeseburger or do you want a Big Mac? There's burgers and then there's burgers.
Well, is it more like, do you want one of the fancy pizzas made at handmade downtown from one of the big restaurants? Or do you want the no brand heated up in the microwave pizza that you get at the supermarket? It's that difference.
Yeah. Do you want an overweight girl that's kind of cute, or do you want a supermodel? That's probably a bad analogy. I'm going to get some emails about that.
Misogynist?
I'm a male. People know this by now. We say things that get us in trouble, and that's part of who we are.
It's like when you're on holiday in Thailand and you pick up the hottest little Asian girl you've ever seen, and then you get her back to the alleyway, and you lift up her skirt, and there's a penis, and you're like, oh, well, I paid for it already.
Right. Is that Tool or is that Wheel? I'm not sure what the win is here. Are you excited?
Depends what you're into, really, isn't it? Could go either way. As I was thinking that analogy through, it's like it could be a pleasant surprise. It could have been like, it's the Christmas present I didn't want to wish for in case someone found out. And then I got it. Wow.
I got it. Yeah, Santa loves me. I got it. Cock.
Jesus knew. Jesus.
She just always knows who needs the cock.
Yeah.
So,
it didn't have the memorable moments for me. I haven't listened to it enough to really decipher it, because there's one of those albums you got to listen to a lot to actually hear the songs as individual things, because it did blend a bit for me, one into the other.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's like listening to, and recently, this is topical, I've been listening to, this is going to melt your brain, I've been listening to Master of Puppets, right?
Oh, for fuck's sake. This is Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Oh, look, I know who Metallica is, and I've been I'm aware of their presence, and I know the songs. And when it came up in, Stranger Things, I went, oh, okay. And then my kid's been watching Stranger Things, so she likes Master of Puppets now, so I've been playing that. But
of course, have to gatekeep you on that. You're not allowed to listen to Master of Puppets because I found them first.
Oh, you found them first?
I was there first.
I think Lars is just happy with more fucking money in his money bag shoes.
You can't like them because you saw it on a TV program. You're not a real fan.
Oh, well.
After 20 years of me telling you to listen to them, it takes TV show.
Let me make my point before you get too excited here. What I was moving towards.
You like the cover version better than the real version.
I like Kate Bush's version of Master of Puppets.
I haven't heard that yet, but okay.
It's called Master of Poupée. Anyway, Master of Puppets, the album.
Master of Yeah.
Yeah, the album, not the song. Is it? Is that the name? And again, you can yell at me. Is that the name of the album as well?
Me, Kathy. Yeah.
Am I right? Master of Puppets is on the album. Master of Puppets.
Master of Puppets. Yes. Surprisingly enough.
I'm just double checking. But
Master of Puppets from the album Ride the Lightning. Opening track, Kill 'Em All. No.
I fucking know, man. You know I'm not a giant Metallica dude. Anyway, Master of Puppets. And then you've got like Sanitarium. What the fuck else is on that album? It's
Disposable Heroes, Battery.
You're
Oh
right.
my
There we go.
god!
So I've been listening to that album the same way I've been listening to Wheel. I put it
A
on.
little song called Leper Messiah, Brad. Oh,
Never heard of it. Never heard
Leper
of it.
Messiah is awesome. And Orion. Orion.
Okay, so
Check out Orion.
if I was a giant Wheel fan, and I'd been listening to this album for fuck, how long's Master of Puppets been out? 20 years, let's say. 30 years.
86.
30? Let's go 30. I'd know every song, right? And this is all my jam. And then someone would come along, a little cunt like me, and review it on a podcast because he'd seen it in a TV show. And I'd be like, oh, dissipating and blah, 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 all the songs. These two albums, fucking what's it called? Wheel. We're, Jesus.
Moving backwards.
Moving backwards. And Master of Puppets have a similar vibe in that I can put it on at the start, enjoy it, you know, from start to finish, but I can come out of it without any, I fucking remember that sweet song. I remember there was good stuff in it, but it's kind of like not very, no radio single, no big hit.
No. And finish.
And finish. And finish.
And finish, yeah, they're from Finland.
Yes, and finish, yeah. So, yeah, enjoyable, but not, I can't, So, yeah.
It's like a bunch of jazz school nerds decided to copy Tool, and they're very accomplished musicians, but it just doesn't have the balls.
Well, I think I tried to, like, crank up, when you put it on Wheel, I wanted to feel it, so I'd like crank up the bass on my stereo. I wanted to, I need to feel it, but it was just lacking. There was something missing there in whether it was the mix or the mastering. Yeah. It lacked balls. It needed more I think the songs had the balls, don't get me wrong, but I couldn't feel the balls. So the balls were there.
You couldn't feel them.
And when there's balls there, you want to feel the balls. You put Tool on.
You paid for the balls. They're there.
You want to
you can't feel them.
Yeah. So that's maybe it needs a remaster in 10 years, and they put it out again. But it's hard to say anything bad about it. I'm happy that I found a band that is trying to be Tool and being reasonably successful. I can't knock them. Yeah. They're fucking talented.
I was looking at the comment sections on the YouTube, and it's very positive. People loving it, and it's everyone saying it's a copy of Tool, but that's not a bad thing. Yada yada. Yeah. I'm personally, I guess, same with Greta Van Fleet. There are people that love Greta Van Fleet and go, if it's a copy of Led Zeppelin, I'm happy. But to me, it's just, I just think it's kind of a weak imitation, not as good, and I don't know if it's really worth my time. I guess I might try it again to see if it grows on me, but I'd rather listen to Tool.
Yeah. Which is the weaker band, imitation band? Is it Megadeth or Metallica? Or are they brothers that stand tall together?
There's one imitating the other. They're very different.
Okay. Poor reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who imitates Metallica? Does anybody imitate Metallica? Nah.
I remember there was...
Not worth imitating?
I think there's a band called Testament they used to call an imitator. I believe it was Testament.
No,
I might have that wrong.
What are we talking about? What was our previous episode? Avenged Sevenfold was like a modern Metallica imitator. Their songs are even exact rip-offs, right?
Yeah, Was it Hail to the King's the name of the album?
Yeah.
And there's a few. That's a Guns N' Roses song. That's a Metallica song. That's an Iron Maiden song.
I think Silverchair did a bit of it too. They did some riff stealing in the early days. I think one of them was a Metallica riff.
Was it a bit of Deep Purple or something?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah. But
I think they're all a little guilty of. I mean, you have your influences, but this kind of feels. I don't know how you imitate, how you are influenced by Tool without copying Tool. It's kind of a problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess there's Dream Theater and bands like that. There are proggy bands that don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bands that sound like each other, right? That's a thing. But usually they have a singer that's, the music might be the same, but the singer's trying something different, I
mean, there's lots of prog bands that don't sound like Tool.
Yeah. But I kind of want. If I went to a festival or a show where it was Tool and two other acts. There was no headliner. It was Tool, another equally as cool band, and then another equally as cool band, but all making the same sort of. They'd fit together on the same stage.
Is it like a Tool cover band doing the B-sides?
Yeah. Do the songs that don't play.
Yeah.
That could be good, actually.
You want Nirvana and you get Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
You go to Weezer and it's got Pinkerton on the poster and you turn up and they start playing
fucking White Album or
Life
something.
is Rad or something.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah.
Pink Album.
They haven't done that yet. They'll get there, I'm sure. Album every 2 weeks. Oh,
Poor Rivers.
Done? Poor Rivers. All the money in his fucking pockets.
And there's a Hyperion. There's a series of novels called Hyperion, which is science fiction ones that are very sort of science fiction-y thing like Dune, a different universe. And so the lyrics of that was from that novel, apparently, or inspired by that novel.
Right. Okay.
I watched the music video to the song Wheel. Did you watch that?
No, I didn't.
The most boring fucking video I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just a whole bunch of people lifting their head up in slow motion and flicking their hair back. It goes on for about, 7,669 minutes. And everyone in the video is ugly. That's something.
Maybe they're making a statement that ugly people can flick water out of their hair too.
No, they didn't even have water in their hair. There wasn't even a wind machine. They were just flicking their hair back. One guy had dreads and he was really gross and his dreads didn't even flick back properly.
Well, they're from Finland. They're still catching up with modern trends,
Remember the Bee Gees when they would stand there and their wind's blowing in the background and people make parody videos of them standing there and they're all holding blow dryers pointing at their heads, That was more amusing.
Yeah. Well, I guess when you've got a 10-minute song, I guess, again, comparison-wise, Tool does it. They make some pretty sweet long-form videos.
Yeah, I was expecting like a Tool type video. I thought, like they'd put a bit of effort into it, but no, just bullshit fucking video. That's fucking shit.
Who puts effort into anything creative these days?
I don't know.
How much effort did we put into this? Did you even listen to this album?
I refuse to answer that. I'm quite insulted. I read a review. I looked on Twitter and I get my opinions from there.
Oh, I'm sure that's the best place to get knowledge from.
A very nice lady with purple hair and morbidly obese told me what to think. And that's all I need to know. Thank you. Is there a standout song, either great or really bad?
Look, for me, every time I restarted the album, I enjoyed Dissipating. I think that's a great opener. You know, I think it sets the tone for what's coming. It's, again, it's kind of a journey. It's moody and then it gets heavy. So yeah, I'd pick track one was my most epic. Though there were other epic moments spread throughout, but that's that was the winner for me.
Yeah, I just thought it was all much the same. Nothing great, nothing terrible. I did write Borderline next to Ascend, but I don't know if I trust myself on that one.
Yeah, I think given more time to live with the album, like if it was something that I, when I was going hiking or something, I'd chuck it on the headphones. I think it would work its way under your skin more, give it more listens. Or I'm worried the more you listen to it, the shallower it would become. Like as you pick up whatever the fuck he's trying to sing about. Like I have no idea I wasn't checking out lyrics or anything. I was just going with, much like I do with Tool, is the vibe cool? Is the tone of his voice cool? Sweet, I'm not too worried about what he's singing about. Yeah, it's fucking raining here now. Can people hear that rain? Glorious.
I'd go through Spotify and tell people, how many listens it's getting. But as I told you before, fuck all.
Really? Surely they've, under 1 mil?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Well, it's not telling me. If I go onto their Spotify's, it's telling me stuff off the other album is getting more listens.
Is it going to have a shortcut here?
Yeah, I got stuff off their last album's doing well. The rest of it,
Can you read it? Because it's not.
Yeah, so I've got off this album, Fugue has 500,000. Movement has 600,000. Yeah, it's nothing to sneeze at, And then off their previous album, Vultures has got 3 mil. Wheels got 1 mil. So look, they're like your mate's band that's doing pretty okay for themselves. You're never gonna. These guys aren't taking over the world. They're not coming to tour your town. But you can listen to the shit that they recorded at home on Spotify, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. The concert I saw, they were playing a pretty big place, but it looked like there was 3 or 4 bands on the bill, and I don't know if they were number one.
They're like, if you go to a festival, they're like the band that plays at sort of, 11 in the morning or 1 in the afternoon. Daylight hours for sure.
Oh, they might be getting into the afternoon.
Oh, barely. You've just finished your hot dog and they're on stage.
They're on the tent away from the main stage.
Yes.
You've got to walk past the toilets.
Yeah. You got to see some things before you get to their tent. Yeah.
And you may get poo on your shoe. You may not.
Do you think what would be the predominant color of attire at a wheel concert?
Black hoodies. You see the hoodies? They wear hoodies on stage.
I think you're right, babe. Maybe a little
they're
bit
not hoodies. They're like monk cloaks, Jedi monk something or others.
Yeah. Would you? Yeah, not really a mosh pit kind of band. Kind of more of a frottage against several people that are pushing up against you while you sway around to the music. Yeah. It's not like angry Rage Against the Machine, circle punch, mosh pit type thing for these guys, eh?
I feel like it's a band you sit and you make quietly sway left and right while you're listening to them. And at the end, everyone snaps their fingers in appreciation.
Oh, yeah. Couple of headbutts. Yeah. Okay. Well, what else do we normally do here? You just want to rate it?
Cat's meows out of 10, or what are you going to rate this out of?
Well, I'd like you to rate it first, really. I gave it to you.
Oh, God. Nothing good, nothing bad, but derivative.
This is tough. Do you reward, being a copycat in music? I don't know.
Normally, I weed it out by the shit songs out of 10, but I can't find anything horribly shit.
Well, that's it.
Nothing good.
It's not shit. It's not amazing. Is
that our review? Wheel. It's not shit.
It's a short review. It's a 3-word review. It's not shit. But it's not bad. But it's not amazing.
Shit.
It's not like you've walked into the public toilets and there's nothing in there that you can see, but there's a faint aroma of shit hanging in the air.
If it was, $30 for a brand new CD in New Zealand, I'd feel ripped off if I spent $30. But if it was in a bargain bin for like $5, I wouldn't feel so
you'd
bad.
Be like, oh, this is my new favorite band. I think, like if
I didn't waste a lot of money on it.
Yeah, I think if you discovered it on your own, as you say, in a bargain bin for $1, you'd be like, I'm a fucking wizard. I've discovered the greatest undiscovered band in the world. And you'd tell your mates about it.
If you got it in a bargain bin if it got stuck in the CD player, I'd probably be pissed off thinking, oh God, I got to listen to this shit. I'd probably start taking the bus after a while.
It's the kind of band that the hot, the hot girl in your social circle listens to. And so you get into it and, it's your band so you can get closer to her. It's not cool because you're a Tool fan, but she likes it, so you like it too.
It's kind of like you're trying to get close to the hot girl, so you carry your books and you're really nice to her, and you get invited to a party, and you're like, oh, this is great. I'm going to be at the party with the hot girl, and she likes me. And then you find her snogging with a better-looking guy later that night, but you get to finger bang her fat friend. And you're like, it wasn't a total loss.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, and the fat friend actually had some moves. So it's not a complete loss.
Yeah, she went with it.
Yeah, and she had some surprising maneuvers, You never thought you'd actually like that, but yeah.
You got away with a few things you wouldn't think you'd normally get away with, right. But she was fine.
All in all, a good night. That's right.
Police didn't come.
So it's not shit, but it's not great.
It's like finger banging a fat girl and the police don't come the next day. You're like, wow, no one got pregnant.
It's like finger banging the hot girl you wanted to bang's fat friend.
Yeah. Okay. It's perfect. And we're good at reviewing. After our 45th episode, we finally got it right.
We have a great, with just our management of the English language, and it's just phenomenal.
Here we go on Wikipedia one day, and when I usually quoting Roger Ebert or something like that, it'll be our quotes in there. It's like finger banging a fat girl and the police didn't arrest you.
Oh dear. So look, for me, rating wise, I enjoyed it, but I'm always going to compare it to things that are better. So fuck, yep. I'm sitting in there again at I want people to hear it. So it's a 7 and a bit fingers in a fat chick. So
I'm giving it 3. 10. I give it 3 digits and you're giving it 7.
Wow, 3! You went way down there.
So that's a full. That's 2 hands altogether. That's not too bad.
I've got a full one hand, and then just a couple others. I'm not really bothered putting the other hand in there.
Oh, Fat Betty got both hands. No one went to jail.
Hey, my pants are firmly on though, right? That's the key thing.
No one got pregnant.
Yeah.
We get to go to college.
All right, good times. Go and check it out, people. If you like Tool, give it a whirl. Give it a wheel.
Yeah. Stick a finger in. Can't hurt.